Dear friends of Aspire Academy, colleagues and partners, it's a great pleasure and honor to open a window into the inner working of Football Club Zenit St. Petersburg. My goal is to give you a comprehensive and honest look into how we structure our training process, how we manage the demanding rhythm of elite competition, and how we support our players physically, technically, and mentally through one of the most challenging environments in professional football. Today we focus especially on one topic that defines modern high-performance football: managing a two-game microcycle. In elite football, this is not an exception. It's often the norm. As the calendar becomes more congested and the demands on players increase, having a clear, flexible, and intelligent structure becomes essential. Let me begin with the foundations. At Football Club Zenit, our main objective through any week, regardless of its structure, is to optimize the relationship between technical-tactical requirements and physical performance. For us, these two areas must always move together. If physical and technical-tactical demands are misaligned, the team cannot reach an optimal performance level. In a two-game week, this challenge becomes even more delicate. The window for training is smaller. Recovery becomes priority. Adaptation becomes essential. And every decision, regardless how small, must be intentional and based on real information, not assumptions. Our mission is clear: maintain the highest possible level of performance for the team as a whole and for each individual player, while keeping injury risk as low as possible. Let us now explore how we structure load dynamics. When you design a microcycle in elite football, you cannot simply look at the upcoming match. You need to look behind and ahead. You need to understand what the team experienced the previous week and what is coming afterwards. Only by understanding this full context, you can accurately plan the week. Load dynamics are built around several questions. How many matches do we have this week? How many rest days are available? What was the load in the previous microcycle? Which players accumulated high minutes? Which players need compensatory work? What are the most important technical-tactical priorities for the coaching staff? We also put strong emphasis on individual responses to load. Two players may run the same distance, but their bodies experience it differently. This is why data is essential: GPS metrics, heart rate responses, recovery indicators, wellness reports, and subjective player feedback. Our main weekly priorities include establishing overall load dynamics and technical-tactical periodization, mapping recovery and rest days, managing post-match protocols, high-speed running and maximal speed exposure, strength training distribution, tapering principles, match day routines and consistency. One of the key moments in the microcycle is the very first day, match day +1 or match day +2, depending on the schedule. For players who play 60 minutes or more, this day is all about recovery. But recovery is not simple rest. It must be structured. We consider physical data, tactical demands, and the medical outcome of the match. Recovery can include mobility work, regeneration session, aerobic flushing, and low-load gym work. For players who did not play or who played only a few minutes, match day +1 and +2 serve a different function: compensation. They need a meaningful training stimulus to maintain their physical readiness for the next match. The challenge is to balance these two groups on the same day. The entire week is a strategic puzzle, and every decision influences the next one. Strength training plays a crucial role in our weekly structure. But in football, the old bodybuilding model, long, exhausting gym session, is not suitable. Football requires movement quality, power, elasticity, coordination, and neuromuscular readiness. This is why we base our gym work on one core principle. Microdosing means that instead of giving a large strength workload on a single day, we distribute smaller, target doses through the week. This approach gives us several advantages. It improves time efficiency, 15 to 20 minutes during warm-up or activation. It allows daily or nearly daily strength exposure. It reduces fatigue and avoids negative interference with pitch training. It improves readiness before matches. It supports motor learning through more frequent repetition. However, microdosing only works with careful planning. Strength and power doses must not conflict with technical tactical priorities. They must not reduce movement quality in training, and they must not increase injury risk. Individualization is also crucial. Each player has different needs based on game minutes, training load, physical profile, and injury history. For high played minutes player, Matchday +1 and +2 focus on recovery and regeneration. Strength and power work appear later in the week, typical in Matchday -1 and Matchday -2. For players who played less minutes, strength exposure begins earlier, often immediately on Matchday +1 or +2. We divide the gym work into 3 clear segments: pre-training, activation, movement preparation, mobility, and individual corrections. Group training, main strength content based on a weekly plan. Post-training, core work, upper body circuits, individual maintenance work. This structure ensures both consistency and flexibility, allowing us to adapt work to the needs of each player. Elite football, as many of you know, it's unpredictable. Matches change plans, travel schedule change plans, injury change plans, weather change plans. Even a player mood or energy level on a given day can change the plan. This is why adaptability is not just a useful quality, it's essential. And this is also why we rely on objective framework that help us manage the inevitable chaos. We build individual profiles for every player on the team. These profiles include playing time, training time, match data, training GPS data, internal load indicators, RPE, wellness trends, and injury history. When you observe players over an entire month, you quickly understand that every player is living a different training reality. One player might accumulate 1,200 match minutes. Another might accumulate 200. One player might reach repeated high-speed exposure. Another might have only a minimal exposure because he's used differently tactically. This is why individualization matters. Our goal is to apply individual approaches while still keeping every player integrated with the team. Football is a team sport, and maintaining unity is essential. But so is recognizing that not every player can follow the same path to readiness. During congested schedules, we organize players into 4 functional groups. Players with 60+ minutes in the last 4 matches, players who play 90 minutes in the last match, players who did not play, and return-to-play players in partial or full integration. Each of these groups follow a different path in the microcycle, and this structure allows us to protect performance, reduce injuries, and keep all players ready for selection. Let me close with an important message. To succeed in elite football, you must be prepared for chaos. You cannot avoid it, and you cannot control everything. The ability to adapt, to make good decisions under pressure, and to remain flexible. These qualities are just as important as many perfectly designed microcycles. Flexibility is not a sign of weakness. In modern football, flexibility is a competitive advantage. A perfect plan is valuable, but a unified staff is even more valuable. At Zenit, the communication between the medical team, the performance staff, and the coaching staff is the foundation of everything we do. Without clear communication and trust, even the best plan would fail. In the end, excellent is not defined by perfection, it's defined by balance. The balance between structure and adaptability, between planning and improvisation, between principles and intuition. I hope this presentation has given you a useful overview of our internal structure and the principles that guide our work. Thank you very much for your attention, and I look forward to your questions and discussions.